Iran calls Israeli strikes a war declaration as so-called Middle East, which is really West Asia, braces for all-out conflict. Okay? Now, World War III began with that Russia-Ukraine scenario or situation. It's been escalating and escalating to this stage. It's going to escalate further. This thing is not going to go into reverse gear. Okay? This is only going to go forward. All right? And from an Israelite perspective, onwards and upwards. So this is good news for the hopeful elect. This is good news for Yasharallah. And this is excellent news for His Majesty Yahweh Shai, who's aching, you know. I hope the Lord doesn't mind me using, doesn't use me, so other one doesn't mind me using this term aching. You know, the Lord, you know, His Majesty Yahweh Shai wants to, basically come back quick time. He wants to be here. He wants to get busy, you know. But, no man knows that day or hour, right? Except the Most High, Yahweh. Okay? I'm going to play the video. I'm just going to go to, okay, let's go to Revelation 6 and 12. I think I'll start there. Revelation 6 and 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay? And we've been seeing numerous blood moons. The Lord is giving them signs. All right? Verse 13, and all the other numerous earthquakes that are happening on a daily basis. But this is going to go into a real heavier, those tremors are going to increase. Those birth pains are going to increase. Okay? Like a woman going into labor. All right? At the last stage, it's going to increase. Verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Okay? What are those stars of heaven that fell unto the earth? Okay, then the Lord say his sword shall be bathed in heaven. And what's his sword? Paraphrasing the scripture there. It's basically the nuclear weapons, right? They're going to go up. They're going to be bathed, in the heavens, in the sky, right? They're going to go up, and then they're going to come down with full force for its specific target, whatever it's programmed to hit. Okay, you chuck a brick from a 10th floor, right? It's going to hit harder than the chucking a brick from the first floor. Okay, now how much more a nuclear weapon going thousands of feet up in the sky and then coming right down again, hardcore, right? Smashing each area, right, at a circumference of thousands of miles or whatever. I don't know the exact specifics of a nuclear weapon, and when it hits a certain area, how far it will penetrate. But it'll be a wall of fire, as you've seen in Terminator 2. All right, when Sarah Connor was holding onto the wire mesh fence, and these Edomites know what time it is. That's why they let you know in their movies what's going to happen, because they read the scriptures. All right, but what they do is they give you information in their own rendition, right? And the stars of heaven fell onto the earth. And when these nuclear weapons are falling, it looks like stars from heaven, because it looks like these. It looks like a fireworks show, kind of. Kind of, right? Where you see all these different lights in the sky and they're falling down. It looks like stars of heaven falling. All right, but those are the nukes. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. What's that? That's referring to a mushroom cloud, right? It looks like a scroll, right? Or what they call a scroll. Let's Google actually. Mushroom cloud explosion pictures. Let's go to. It's got some nice ones here actually. Should just go into images. Look, looks like a scroll, doesn't it? Like you see an ancient scroll, it has this part, then it has the paperwork, the scroll in the middle. Let's go to ancient scroll. Ancient scroll images. Right. Need a better one. Yeah, look, see? Yeah, kind of like that. But what does the scripture say? Let's go to it again. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. All right. That's an ancient scroll. All right. Departed as a scroll. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, especially in America. All right. And this feeling and this vibration is going to go through the whole earth. But America is going to be, there's going to be some real, the term rock and roll, we know what that really means, and it's when a man and woman are getting busy, but the term rock and roll is going to have a different meaning that day. All right. Because things are literally going to rock and roll. Verse 15, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. The people that have bought, your regular Joe Six-pack people or crackers, Edomites, have bought your basic bunkers. And then you've got the elites, the rich people that have got their major bunkers, that have got basically underground cities and towns and malls and stuff like that. So they're basically living as they would above ground. All right. And they hid themselves in the rocks and mountains. These what do you call them? These shelters. These what do you call them? Nuclear domes. Nuclear. There's a term for it. What do you call nuclear fallout shelters? Nuclear bunker. I think it's domes or dumbs or something like that. A blast shelter, a bomb shelter, a nuclear bunker. Let's just call it that, right? Okay. Hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. That's where a lot of these nuclear bomb shelters are going to be. And there's a video I made a while back about a huge mountain where they had steel walls that were like 10 to 20 feet thick, and they had to be open for you to enter and all that kind of thing. I forgot the mountain's name. But nevertheless, they've got them everywhere. They don't just have one specific place. All right. Verse 16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. All right. So they're trying to hide from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, but the Lord's gonna, pull them out, man. Along with the elect men, they're gonna be pulled out. All right. Gonna be pulled out. 17. Verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? All right, and that day is coming, man. Who's gonna step to the Lord, man? But people, these heathens and these 2/3 are gonna have this, demonic spirit on them where they're gonna feel that they can step to the Lord, man. But the Lord's just gonna, that's just gonna be, as I say, easy peasy lemon squeezy, man. The Lord's just gonna just demolish them, just demolish them. The Lord's gonna, how Jake likes to get creative when they want to deal with an enemy, and the Lord, Yahweh Shai, other one is an, under the spirit and power of Yahweh is, is an ultimate Jake, right? The ultimate Jake is the Most High, but the ultimate, his son is an ultimate Jake. So you know how creative His Majesty Yahweh Shai is going to get, Let's go to all right. One woe, Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Woe is bad times, evil times. World War One was from 1914 to 1918. Second World War was from 1939, I believe, to 1945. So that was a while back, wasn't it? More than 70 years ago. All right, 70 plus years ago, right? 70, 75, 80 years ago, whatever, right? Now we're coming to that point where it's going to be Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the third woe, the third evil time. That's why they always have that term. Or if there's a fourth world war, it'll be fought with sticks and stones. You know why they say that? It's because nothing is going to be left. Okay? These nuclear weapons are going to demolish everything. America is not going to be inhabited ever again. As Elder Apostle Gabar would say, in the spirit power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, America started, America had a bitter beginning. It's going to have an even bitter ending. All right? Let's go to video. Let's go. Look at the term as well. Iran calls Israeli strikes a war declaration. Look at that little introduction to the stars falling from heaven. Okay, I don't know exactly what that is. It might be just some kind of regular rocket, but that's obviously when the nukes fall, it's going to be it's going to have that real. These scriptures are going to come to life. But this is sort of an example here. Okay. Stars falling from heaven. Commercials. Stars falling from heaven. Wait till the nukes hit. And that happens. You just think about it. Wait till this thing picks up, man. The Lord returns at the same time. It's just going to be amazing, scary and amazing at the same time, and exciting. Whole an array of emotions you're going to be feeling. It's going to be amazing. Let's go to that scripture again, man. That one. Revelation 6:13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. All right, and the star, these are going to be 200 million warheads as well. All right, missiles. All right, 200 million warheads hitting America. Okay, so the skies is going to be full of you think that the literal stars of heaven are falling. And this is like a little, example of what's to come on a more of a grandeur scale when things really go, you know, uh, full speed, as they say. There's no turning back. This is going to happen.
Okay, come here.
Damn it. I'll play a little more, see if we get any more exciting footage. These damn commercials, man.
איפה המקלט?
למטה.
יאללה, בוא נרד.
אתה רוצה לצלם את האירוע?
כן.
Israel. That scene where everybody's gathered together in the basement, that reminds me of a movie. What's that movie called, man? It was like a hell breaking loose, and there's one person hoarding all food for himself, and it was his sort of like safety net. But then all these bunch of people started running into the cellar of the basement, and then in the end, they all turned against each other. I forgot the movie, man. But anyway, those of you know, those of you have seen that movie, and I know a lot of you Jakes have. You know what I'm referring to. That's a perfect scenario there, man. Especially when you get stuck together like that, all those mouths to feed. Probably one bathroom, probably not even a shower, all the smell there. You haven't showered for days. No food, women on their rag. You saw those women. They look perplexed. They look shook. How much more when this thing goes really full throttle?
Israel and Iran are battling for a third consecutive day. The Israeli Air Force is pressing ahead with more airstrikes on targets inside Iran. The Iranians have been responding with deadly barrages of missile fire on Israeli cities. Israel says it has inflicted some significant damage on Iran. Remember, they've already killed a number of top commanders and hit other military targets. Also, of course, they have been targeting these nuclear facilities across Iran for these past 3 days. Equally significant, the Israeli Air Force now says it has taken out most of Iran's air defenses. It has virtual free movement over Iran's skies. That will make it easier for the Air Force to press ahead with these airstrikes. However, they have not been able to halt the missile barrages. Iran has been launching dozens of missiles, some deadly strikes overnight. Israel, of course, does have that sophisticated air defense system, but officials here say it is not 100% effective, and we saw the result of that in these deadly strikes overnight. Israel is pressing ahead. It has issued some evacuation orders inside Iran. They are striking more targets. Of course, if the missile fire does continue, that could put some pressure on Israel to scale back or to halt this operation, but we haven't seen any signs of that happening yet. So we are looking at an open-ended operation.
Look at that. Aftermath carnage. Get one more scripture. I talked about the sword bathe. I mean, there's numerous scriptures regarding the nukes, but let's just go to one more. My sword shall be bathed in heaven. And my sword shall be bathed in heaven, King James Version. And the primary target is all the heathen, of course, and even the 2/3, but the way Jacob's trouble is focused on Jacob, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, and those of that lineage paternally, okay, because this is spiritual, all right? The same way, okay, to counter that, the Lord has, because Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble, but the primary target is Jacob. But this nuclear weapons are going to hit pretty much everybody that needs to be hit, but the primary target is Esau, the so-called white man, Idumea, which I believe is a Greek way of saying Edomite, all right? Isaiah 34:5. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. All right, and this is a beginning of certain judgments. But wait till when it gets really extremely, it goes to the level that we've seen in movies. It's going to be more. What's the words I can use? It's going to be more. It's going to be more. I'll just say the term horrendous. It's going to be more horrendous. Just more. It's just going to be worse than ever. All right. You can roll all your movies together. Armageddon. What else? Other movies are they? What's the other one? Deep Impact. All those movies rolled together. Right. It's going to be way more worse than that. All right. And it's not going to be fireballs coming out of the sky. It's going to be nuclear weapons that may look like fireballs or stars falling from heaven, but they're going to be nukes They're not going to be some kind of. It's not going to be asteroids and all that other shit that they say. All right. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Rakakwadash. It's coming, and it can't come soon enough. All right, we're on the Lord's time. We're on Yahweh Bashem Yashai's time, and you know, Yahweh Bashem Yashai is speeding up the time for the elect's sake. All right. Anyway, Shalom.